Cobra Kai just hit Netflix a week ago, and it quickly became the #1 trending show on the platform. So I thought, hey, I should probably review that. So here I am reviewing the first season of Cobra Kai. The show is basically split up into two storylines, one that focuses on the adult cast and one that focuses on the teenage cast. The one that focuses on the adult cast primarily follows the rivalry between Daniel and Johnny, and the one that focuses on the teenage cast revolves around Miguel and his evolving relationship with Daniel's daughter Samantha. A third element comes into play when Robbie, Johnny's son, is introduced. While Miguel learns the aggressive fighting style of Cobra Kai, Robbie finds his inner balance as Daniel teaches him the same lessons that Mr. Miyagi once taught him. This dynamic not only adds to the already existing tension between Daniel and Johnny, but also ends up creating somewhat of a love triangle among Miguel, Robbie, and Sam, and therefore a rivalry between Miguel and Robbie. A rivalry that is not so different from the one that Daniel and Johnny have themselves. Throughout this show, the writers use the karate lessons, both from Daniel and from Johnny, as metaphors for life lessons, creating two opposing ideological standpoints, yet making it clear that neither of them is necessarily wrong nor better than the other, only that there are different approaches to karate, as well as different approaches to life. I also think that the writers of the show purposefully avoid taking sides and often try to examine the story from every possible perspective, which I ultimately think is the point of the entire show. Johnny Lawrence starts out as straight up miserable. He lives in a crappy apartment, he loses his job early on, and is even mistaken for a homeless person. It is clear to us as the audience that since losing that tournament to Daniel all those years ago, his life has only gone downhill. Since we get to see things from Johnny's perspective this time around, he becomes a much more sympathetic character than he was in the first movie. We see Johnny finding happiness and a new purpose when he reopens Cobra Kai and begins to train Miguel, even getting something out of the lessons himself. Daniel LaRusso starts out as the exact opposite of Johnny. While Johnny's life seems to have gotten exponentially worse since the last time we saw him, Daniel's life is seemingly picture perfect. However, there are events that cause his relationship with his wife and his relationship with his daughter to be tested, and so Daniel has to seek out a way to bring balance back into his life. With the character of Miguel, the show presents us a what-if scenario of the first movie. I think the best way to describe the character of Miguel is by asking the question, what if Daniel LaRusso had joined Cobra Kai instead of finding Mr. Miyagi? How would the Cobra Kai fighting style have changed him as a person? All these questions are answered when we see Miguel tap into his more confident yet more aggressive side, a personality change inspired by the dogmas of the karate style he learns from Johnny. Miguel is Daniel LaRusso if he had taken a different path. With the character of Robbie, we have the antithesis of Miguel. He starts out as a very rebellious and even criminal teenager. However, with the help of Daniel and the teachings that Mr. Miyagi passed on to him, Robbie manages to find inner peace and turn his life around. Since this entire show itself is a throwback to the 80s, of course the soundtrack is bound to be great, and of course it contributes to the already present nostalgia brought upon by the show. Not only that, but the score itself is not bad either. Once again, the sets and the costumes add to the nostalgia that the show brings, as not only do they revisit imagery such as the Cobra Kai logo and the bonsai trees, but they bring back locations from the original movie such as Daniel's house, the golf and stuff, and the beach. The acting in the show ranges from decent to extremely good. While the younger cast members seem to take a while to inhabit their roles comfortably, the older members of the cast, especially those returning, bring a humor, nuance, and depth to their characters that had not been seen in the previous entries of the franchise. While the dialogue does its job in terms of advancing the story and characterization, it can often be kind of simplistic, which makes some parts come across as over the top or cheesy. However, the dialogue also often manages to elevate the more dramatic moments of the show, as well as the more comedic moments, and finds a perfect balance between both of them. If you guys are interested in seeing a spoiler review or more of a deep dive / breakdown kind of video, please let me know because I really love this show and could literally talk about it all day. As always, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.